Today, let life meet you with surprise and delights, and open yourself up to the possibility that something really magical could happen. Hello and welcome back to Remember Why You're Here, a podcast for seekers and sensitives where you can relax, receive, reconnect to yourself, and remember the most important thing of all, why you're here. Lately, everything has been coming to fruition here in my garden. All the trees are finally leafed out and the canopy is closed, and we're transitioning from the spring ephemeral aspect of the bloom time into the summer blooms. It really feels like we're entering the summer here. And I've been reflecting a lot as we transition from April into May on just what exactly that transition is and how it often feels in my body. It often feels like moving from this time of breaking, opening, and a rushing in into a little bit more of a settling into that Taurus season energy. And the reading for this May, the intuitive reading for this May, really brought that home for me. And I've been thinking a lot about what I shared in that reading in terms of the river space that we're walking into now, this opportunity for more peace, for more rest, for allowing sort of the rush to calm for a little bit. And it was reminding me of this transmission that I shared now several years ago, where I talked about this word that I keep at the center of my altar that is often very helpful for me, especially in transition points and times where I feel like I'm moving from one phase into another, when I experience overwhelm of the world around me or overwhelm in my life, when it feels like there's so much on the to-do list. This one word, I've realized if I could pick a word that's my soul word, it's going to be this word. And so I was inspired to share this transmission again as we enter into this month of May, because I think that this is a word that we need now more than ever in this world. So settle in, give yourself some time and space, and let's drop into this one word that could heal everything. I was being interviewed a while ago, and the interviewer asked me this really interesting question. They said, "What is one word that has guided your life up to this point?" And I really took my time thinking about this. And then I knew, if I could only choose one word to be the guide for my life, it would be possibility. I once had a Chinese medicine practitioner share this really interesting tidbit of information with me. From a Chinese medicine perspective, when someone dies of old age, what's really happening is that their heart stops believing in possibilities. So when that person has died of old age, what's really going on is that their heart no longer sees any possibilities for that lifetime, and so their spirit departs. This really struck me on a deep level when I heard this story. In a very tangible way, possibility opens our heart to the experience of life. Possibility is the very thing that makes life worth living, that gives our spirit something to live for on this planet. The opposite of possibility is feeling stagnant, trapped, or stuck. And from my perspective, this is one of the worst feelings on earth. But you know that when you feel that sense of stagnancy or stuckness, what's really going on is your spirit is asking you to see and perceive possibility again. So I know that for me, possibility has been such an important word in my life. When I was in my early 20s and I was diagnosed with a chronic pain condition, possibility was the word that kept me searching for answers. It was the word that kept me believing that healing was possible, even when I was told by doctors that there was nothing I could do and that this chronic pain would be with me for the rest of my life. Possibility was something I held on to, and ultimately that belief in possibility was the thing that healed me. Possibility isn't necessarily receiving an answer or having everything magically resolve itself in your life, but possibility is asking this question: what opportunities are here for me? Possibility is looking at a dead end and seeing that the path continues. It is being able to embrace the gifts or the lessons of any experience in your life and knowing that healing, in whatever form that takes, is always possible. Possibility opens our heart to the truth of life's wonder. It increases awe in our life. It opens the portal of our perception to see the way nature sees. When a tree falls in a forest, that's just the beginning of more possibilities. It's the beginning of flowers that can spring up, a space opening up for other trees to come in. The earth sees in shades of possibility and is always asking us to see in those shades of possibility as well. Because when we can be in a mindset of possibility, we can also start to perceive new ideas and innovations that can come in to help heal this world. Because here's the secret: there's always possibility. Even when someone passes away from old age because their heart stops believing in the possibilities of this lifetime, that heart opens up in a wider way to the possibilities beyond death. And in that same way, we are being asked to peer beyond what we see as dead ends or fatalism on this earth and start to believe in the possibility of healing, the possibility of regeneration, the possibility of a new cycle starting here on earth. So you can create this sense of possibility in your life by asking yourself this question: in my dream of dreams, what would be possible for me? You can start with the big view of your life as a whole, but you can also ask yourself this on a day-to-day basis. In my dream of dreams, what would be possible for this day? What kind of joy or magic or adventure can I call into this day? One of the best ways to create this sense of possibility in your day is to go on an adventure. So go to a bookstore you've never been before, or walk in a new area of the city you've never visited. Anytime we take an adventure and we expand our perception, we step out of our daily routines, we're opening ourselves up to greater possibility. So today, let life meet you with surprise and delights, and open yourself up to the possibility that something really magical could happen. And if you ever struggle with seeing that possibility for yourself or the wider world, just go out in nature and let the earth show you what's possible. And this is exactly what my book, Mirrors in the Earth, is about. This book was written to help you see yourself through the reflection of nature, to understand who you are and the role you're meant to play on this planet, and to start believing in possibilities again, because the earth has never stopped believing in the possibilities of healing, of regeneration, and it's our role to start believing in possibility again, not only within our own lives, but within the earth as a whole. So always curious to hear from you about what's moving in your life. You can leave a comment here if you're in a space where you can leave comments, or head over to my website, asiasuler.com/remember. And I would love to hear, what is one possibility for you in life right now? For me, we recently went through a bit of a health scare arc with my daughter that was overwhelming and challenging, but also really gave us some answers to some things that we've been trying to figure out for her and for our family now for years. And I'm realizing that even within the hardship of that experience, there was this possibility that came out of it, this possibility of more clarity, this possibility of more information, this possibility of healing that didn't exist before. And I just want to mention this because I think so often when we see things go awry, go off the rails, we tend to feel like that closes down possibility. And instead, I think there's actually another way to look at it, which is that when things don't go as planned, It's actually not about taking away more possibilities for us. It's about opening us up to see the possibilities that we weren't able to glimpse before. And if we can approach the things that fall apart in our lives from that perspective, so much healing becomes possible. Now, I don't always have that at the center of my awareness, especially when I'm in the midst of something that's very overwhelming, but it's much easier for me to look back on those times where I was in the thick of it and really see the possibility. And so, wherever you're at in your life, whether you're in the thick of something, you're able to look back with even just a step ahead. If you're resting perhaps in a river bend this month and able to look back on the waterfall of some aspect of your past, just take a moment to notice what possibilities arose out of that, because I promise that there were possibilities that came from that simply didn't exist before. Not only is your life filled with possibilities, but you yourself are a possibility in this world. This is why you were born. This is why you exist. You are possibility itself for this planet. And just by connecting to this word for yourself and within your life, you can also connect to the possibility that you carry for this world. So if you enjoy this episode, if you are liking this podcast and what it brings to your world, it would just mean so much to me if you took a moment to leave a rating or review. It takes about 2 seconds to just press that little star button and it sends so much fairy dust my way. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everyone who has done this so far. It just really means so much. And as you step into seeing the possibilities despite it all in this month and this time ahead, may it help you remember that most important thing of all, why you're here.